So why on earth did you go in for X Factor in the first place, Steve?
I just thought it would be a good showcase. You'd get on TV, people might see you and say, hey, that guy's good, I'll work with him. I'd just come out of 2 major record deals, one with Virgin in the UK and one with Columbia, which really hurt. We signed to Columbia Records in America, and they had us sitting on the shelf for 6 months. And it kind of just went bad.
What did you think was going to happen then when you went into what, even though it was the first of that season with that name, it had a bit of a precedent with the other show, didn't it? So you kind of must have known that it didn't really suit the kind of person that you were, the singer you were, that you were going to have to walk into the belly of the beast to do it. Yeah,
but you know, there's a bit of an ego where you think to yourself, I can do it. Do you know what? I wouldn't have been surprised if I didn't get round through it, because I went for the other show, the BBC version, the BBC Fame Academy, and I sang exactly the same song, and they went straight away, no thank you, which was, it was the Nick Parks bunch, you know. So I was kind of, you know, yeah, whatever. You know, if you like me, you like me. If you don't, but I just thought if I can just meet a few people, I didn't think I was going to go right down the line where you'd win it, you'd get to be controlled, to do this music, to do this, to do that. I just never expected that.
See, I've got very acutely paranoid feelings about the whole world that you became part of, not least in the sense that there is a world where, of course, you did fail the audition. Because that first audition you don't go through, and that kind of makes a kind of sense that you would just go back to being. But then the paranoia really kicks in because they drag you back in, don't they? Yeah. As if they've spotted some kind of experimental model that they can, you know, I can be really paranoid about this, you know, because there's almost a weird world where you were totally set up in that first series.
I had this feeling, having been through it with a record deal before, when things die down, that they had no intention of pursuing me as an artist. It was like, we'll make a few bucks off his covers album. We won't waste time on a video and a single, and we'll move on to the second series because it's about establishing the brand.
And when you were going through the process, when did it dawn on you that you were in a kind of nightmare? You know, it reaches its great moments with the Sharon Osbourne attack. You know, you're in a nightmare, babe, live television, and you're being completely insulted and humiliated.
I mean, it happened before then because there was rumours going around that certain tabloids were going to be running stories about me that were lies, and this was just prior to the final. And then Sharon was actually really bad in rehearsals, and I just thought it was getting really about personalities here, and it had long passed whether or not I was a good singer.
Someone like you suddenly has to engage with this really cold world that Cowell and Osborne and these people are very good at manipulating, very good at working, but suddenly you're in it, and that's a really unusual engine to have to deal with, you know.
Yeah, I'm not, you know, I'm not made up of those. I've always moaned and whinged with my friends in a bar when you're talking about some of these celebs in these tacky magazines. And I just think to myself, I never wanted to be part of that world. So when you find yourself in that world and you've got your friends saying, hey, you know, you're selling out, and suddenly you think, actually, I am uncomfortable. Because there came a point where I said, look, I'm not working anymore, I'm not gigging, I don't know who I am, I've got an album of covers that doesn't represent me, and I'm not working. And Simon's right, they give you a platform to go and to be an artist. But only if you're the artist they want you to be. And if you don't be that artist they want you to be, then that opportunity they're telling you you've got isn't really there. I did feel that as time went on, it was always a case of, we don't feel you want this enough. And I said, well, you know what, I don't want it that much. But we want you to want it. Okay, I want it. And then you get there and you think, I don't really want Sharon Osbourne calling me a fake, Louis Walsh saying I look like a serial killer. That is the sort of thing I'm thinking, this isn't what I turned to become a singer for. You know, and that's what I got, and I just thought...
But that's the ultimate great illusion of the show, is that it appears very directly to be about singing, but in a way that's the last thing it's about.
if you want to go your own way, you don't go with their blessing.
Yeah.
That's it. That is what really upset me.
Between me and you, if we would just say he doesn't really like music, and I often say, you say it and it becomes across bitter, I say it and it probably comes across bitter too. But technically, that's fascinating, isn't it? That he seems to be, and now he's very much manipulating himself into position as being a music man, but he's not really a music man, is he?
No, but I admire the way he's managed to get there, because you've all got, we all try and to find our way into this industry, and I tried so many different ways.
Yes.
And then you end up backing off.
But that was the other thing. They encourage what they call the over 25s, and then of course they lay into them constantly.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much because they're over 25.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you know what the thing that I really found distasteful was that you got a lot of people working hard. It's like going to the football analogy. You'd have the kids on the park, or you have people. Ian Wright was found playing non-league football, where you got them playing, and we got to keep nurturing that. So we can't knock it. We can't turn everyone that's on stage saying, you're a cruise ship entertainer or you're a pub singer. A pub singer, I'm thinking, I used to love singing pubs. I did. I had a great time. No one would hassle me. I could get up, sing what I wanted, and if they didn't like it, they're not paying me enough to,
The other thing that's really, really strange, I mean, your wife's a singer too.
Yeah.
You sing, basically.
Yeah.
This is what you do. But the whole world seems to have been taken over by people who want to sing. And that's also really bloody irritating.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time they copy the voices that have actually been processed on a record, so they're trying to copy auto-tune
That
as
is
well.
brilliant. Do you know, that is amazing.
Yeah.
We find artists today that sound like they've been auto-tuned.
Yes, that's right, because they are hearing it, so they
hear
think
auto-tune.
that's what a
And
voice
I think
is.
that is really interesting.
But what is it like as a singer, just a singer who just wants to sing, suddenly being surrounded by millions of people who all want to do that? I mean, in a way, you were at the beginning of the tidal wave, so it hadn't quite completely overwhelmed you. But it had already started, hadn't it? That everybody wanted to suddenly sing.
Yeah, I think what they've done now, they've made it look as if you can pluck anyone who works in and no disrespect to a couple of the winners we've had, because I don't mean it to be disrespectful, but they never crafted. The reason why Leon Jackson hasn't succeeded yet, he might do, but the reason it hasn't worked for him so far is that he's never gone out and worked. He's not gigging. I mean, he won it, disappeared. They should have taken him away, got him working with a band, got him out performing and learning to be an artist. Because when he came back on the X Factor, he looked like a little lamb in the headlights, lost totally. It was,
How humiliating has it been since X Factor? And also to have that kind of sense of what happened be attached to you consistently.
In hindsight, I don't know what I should have done. I still think maybe I should have played the game, done another album of covers, been a good boy, but it's a hard one.
Was it tough on you just for your soul, being turned into that kind of character, if you like?
Yeah, because you know what? I went to the Brits and I found it really distasteful to be there and people photographing. You think, look, I've won a talent show. Let's just be realistic about this. I shouldn't be doing the red carpet. I should just turn up. Great, thanks very much. I'll sit down here, watch it. Got a good seat, but let's not build it up to anything it is. It's just a talent show. I've done an album of covers, and that's it. And I was wearing shoes. One was a size 9, one was a size 8. I mean, I'm thinking I should have bought my own shoes. I'm paying for a stylist who's put me in an odd pair of shoes, and I'm like, this is great.
Why did they do that?
Because they couldn't be asked. They just thought, oh well, next series of X Factor, there's a pair of shoes. And it's only when I got home, I was wondering when my foot was aching. It's like, these shoes wrong. They knew Gucci's, take them off, look to the bottom, and there you go.
God.
What I found interesting was that everyone thought the artists were getting close to their mentors. I did honestly believe that Sharon did actually care for her artists to a certain degree. But I did find it interesting that whenever I saw Simon, it was literally as soon as the cameras would roll, here we go, right now, this is what we're going to say, thanks very much, blah, blah, thanks very much, I'm out of here. And so, okay, that's my mentoring for the week. I don't even think I got close.
No.
In all that time of mentoring and your buddies and their arms around you and you're
He was good at putting his arm
celebrating.
around you. He did that well.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that was brilliant, because before I won the X Factor, it's cheeky, smiley Steve, country's favourite, we all love Steve, we all love Steve. As soon as I fell out with Simon Cowell, you'd only see me as Brookstein.
Wow.
They would refer to you by your surname to distance you from the public, which I found that as interesting.
Yeah. So there's part of it that you can quite kind of enjoy being part of what's happened.
Because it's it's a shame it happened to me, but it would have been nice if I was watching this happen to my mate.
Yeah.
But having happened to me, what I find good about it is that I do actually, hand on heart, I'm glad for people like Leona Lewis, who's gone on to have an original album.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because she could have easily been put into one of these cover albums. And same with Shane Ward, and they all went on to do original music, which is what.
So you can still watch the show.
Kind of. Some bits I think, wow, I wish they'd spent that on me.
Yeah.
You know, I see like 50 people on the stage and all. You know,
what's that about though? See, Simon seems to value music by how many people are on the stage with you.
Oh yeah.
That seems to be weighs it.
Well, that's how good it is.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got 100 people on the stage, that's a great song. I don't care what anyone says. I was impressed. 200,000 people bought the record. That's a good song.
How would you, now coming out of it a little bit, I guess, sum up the experience of having been the first winner of X Factor?
Regardless of everything I ever say, I still would do it again.
You would?
Yeah. I would, because I know things now, so I wouldn't make the same mistakes I made. You know, I would have done one or two things. I would have played the game a little bit longer, got myself established in many ways financially and my connections, so I would have done that better. Or alternatively, on the night of the final, when Sharon had a go at me, I probably would have walked off the stage.
Yes.
That would have been the perfect ending.
And what was Sharon responding to then?
It was, do you know what? I think she kind of knew the propaganda. I think inside she knew how the show was manipulated, and she knew she weren't going to win it. She knew Simon was going to win it, and she knew I was going to win it. But sadly, because she's such a popular woman, she thought her popularity, she could turn around and say anything she liked about me, and the public would say, Sharon's right. But the truth is that I haven't changed. I'm the same person I was then, and I'm just a regular bloke. So the public kind of saw that, and they thought she was picking on me. And the bad side of it was I wish she hadn't, because people now think I won because of sympathy vote. When I think I won because I was the best singer on the night. At the moment, I would rather just wait until I do something incredibly good, which I will do. And then I'll have it I'll have my one award, the new one, alongside my X Factor award for Worst Album of the Year, and I'll have them side by side. That's what I'd like to do. But I won't be me as an artist. It'll end up being me as a writer. I know. I just stick it out. I've got inner belief in what I do.
Yeah.
You know.
So you would quite like one of the punchlines to this strange narrative to be saying to Simon, "Look what I've done after all."
It would be nice. It would, but if it doesn't, my wife keeps telling me he's not important. He's not important. Get over it. She tells me more than the papers do. The great thing is, if this had happened, some of the best songs I've ever written is on Eileen's album. Amazing songs, and I would never have written them if I hadn't gone through what I've been through. And that to me is worth its weight. You know what it's like. You know, that's what it's all about, making good music. So these bad experiences are good for the soul.
Thanks, Steve.